Hi, my name is Natasha, and I will be taking you through the design process for the language app Bilingua. Before we get started, I have listed the main steps I took along the way. This includes the competitive analysis, user interviews, proto-persona, information architecture, wireframing and prototyping, and usability testing. When creating Bilingua, I had one question in mind, which was, how can I create an app that will motivate and encourage users to learn language? I figured there were already so many wonderful language apps for users to choose from, so I did a competitive analysis to compare and contrast 3 mobile apps: Duolingo, Babbel, and Drops. Each app had so many compelling features. For example, Duolingo's onboarding process is very elaborate. The app also builds a connection with users through animations and a Duolingo mascot, which is very popular. The app has various methods of learning language, which can keep the users interested in using the app. A few cons of the Duolingo app is the excessive emails and text messages users receive when using the app. Duolingo also has a comment section for users to review when getting a word wrong. However, there are too many sub-conversations which can prevent the user from finding the answers they need. On the other hand, Babbel is another great app. The app is very straightforward and displays simple design. There is a podcast section which I think users will find very useful. Some cons of the app is some users reported that the recording features were time sensitive and sometimes failed at picking up on what the users said. And finally, Drops. This app allows users to have fun while learning language. The app gives users realistic goals such as the 2-day rule, which is missing no more than 2 days in a row while learning language. The app also has a 5-minute daily time limit goal. I think this is a great feature. However, if a user wants to exceed 5 minutes, they are unable to unless they sign up for a Drops subscription. Once I finished a competitive analysis, I gathered 3 user interviews. Based on my user interviews, I was able to understand how users felt about learning language, how they achieved success, and what frustrated them during the process. I noticed a commonality in my users. Each user wanted an app that allowed them to customize their own flashcards. One user felt she would learn better if she was able to put words and definition in her own words. Another user wanted to have the ability to create their own flashcards and share them amongst their friends. These user interviews helped me design a proto-persona named Christina. Christina is 26 years old and she is attending Queens College as a biology student. She is currently holding down a part-time job as a doctor's assistant. Christina's future goal is to become a veterinarian. Christina is taking a Spanish class as an elective at Queens College. She has been falling behind and is seeking an app that can allow her to study Spanish from anywhere. Here are a few quotes from Christina. So she would like an app that will allow her to study Spanish while traveling from work and school. She would also like to customize her own flashcards. And she feels as though she has trouble pronouncing words, so a recording feature would be helpful to Christina. Christina would also like to share flashcards amongst her friends. Based off of Christina's needs and goals, I was able to design a problem statement, which was, we believe that by designing a vocabulary app that feels intuitive and easy to use for Christina Smith, we will achieve designing a successful app that will help aid Christina in improving her grades, as well as other potential users. Based off of Christina's needs, I was able to start working on the information architecture phase of designing Bilingua. I created two major task analysis, which allowed me to visualize the step-by-step process a user would take to perform each task. The first task is to complete a lesson, and the second task is to upload a flashcard. Afterward, I sketched out a few low-fidelity wireframes for the app and then started designing the prototype. When the prototype was done, I gathered 4 people to perform usability testing. These testers were required to go through a series of tasks while using the app, such as creating an app, completing a lesson, and creating a flashcard deck, and changing the daily time goal. Once the users were done, I rated their main concerns and suggestions according to the Jacob Nielsen's Error Severity Rating Scale. The scale is numbered from 0 to 4. 0 being I don't agree with the usability problem. 1 is a cosmetic problem only. 2 is a minor usability problem. 3 being a major usability problem. And 4 would be a usability catastrophe. Here are a few changes I have made based on my usability testing results. On this slide, the first image that you see, the user brought to my attention that if someone was learning language for the first time, this slide would be assuming that the user already knows the language. So I changed it to put the word for the user to read and have the ability to record that word. The second slide, I realized that most of my users were having trouble locating the add flashcard icon, which is on the bottom of the first image. So I just added it to the top and created a little section for the flashcard icon. One user also brought to my attention that it felt more natural to swipe left rather than right. So I changed the prototype to swipe left, and I also changed the instructions at the bottom to swipe left instead of right. Here are a few more improvements that I made for the app, which was to choose a category for your flashcard deck. You can also add an image to the flashcard deck, and then finally create your flashcard deck. This is a link to the Bilingua app. So the next steps I intend on making is adding a multi-language option. I would also like to add an icon on the dashboard to quickly access added languages. I would also like to do a second usability testing and design a social network section. A few things I learned while designing the Bilingua app is active listening skills. I learned how to empathize with users. Another thing that I learned was to keep records of all of my work, even if I plan to change or edit a prototype, for example, to keep pictures and screenshots of that prototype and then edit. This way I can compare and contrast both of them. I would like to ask my users more questions so I can help better understand. And I realized how important it is to create a well-developed persona story. One thing that I would like to improve upon is better organization skills. Thank you for being here to listen to my presentation. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.